Fire Will Come, 2019. I watched this and reviewed it to camera in May 2022, but I didn't publish it. I was in my practice phase at that point. I started publishing films almost exactly 3 years ago now. It was 7th of August 2022, but during the first 7 months of the year, I was nervous, I guess, and gradually I've got more confident. But I did. I found the review I made of this film, and I've watched it again. I've watched the trailer and found it interesting. It's the story of Amador Cura. It's fictional story, I guess. I don't know if it's based on true events, but whether it is or not, I can imagine a fictionalized account could have observations of real life because of the way people are. And Amador is being released from prison, and you see the paper files. He's noted, oh, is he the pyromaniac? Yes, that's true. He has been in prison for arson. He nearly burned down the town of Lugo, a fictional town somewhere in Spain. I think it's fictional. And there's clips that show the nature of fire. It's so ferocious. There's a huge potential to cause immense damage. Um, they're really scary things. So why anyone would consider just setting light to uh, tinder to dry uh, landscape and cause it to burn out of control until firefighters, really brave people, come along and put it out. Um, it's mind-boggling, and it is pretty severe. The consequences. There was one film I saw before this about that was based on true life in somewhere like Arizona, where 19 firefighters died when they were trying to put out blazes. I mean, 19 of them all in one go, all had their lives extinguished. And they are superheroes, real life superheroes in a way, and that they've got amazing courage to go out to tackle blazes. And the converse is people like Amador who will actually set fire, and it's just mind-boggling. But it's not clear. Was he very young? I mean, do people when they're young understand what they're doing? And maybe they do, but I don't know. Say, imagine if he was 12 years old, above the age of criminal responsibility, but still realizing the enormity of setting fire to something. Well, anyway, that's not what this covers. I mean, he may have been an adult, he may have been 20 something. Um, at the point where he's released, he looks like he's at least in his 40s, could be older still, could be in his 50s. Um, and the townsfolk, they are not really impressed that he's been released. A lot of them, there's men in the community. I mean, some of them joke. They say things like, "Have you got a light?" Real, um, you know, provocative. Um, there's that undertone of fear. I mean, if someone can do that, at what point is there public trust? When can you win back public trust? You could be in prison for 20 years, 25 years, who knows? At some point, you need rehabilitation and you need to gain societal trust. I mean, of course, there's whole life orders, and if many people died, I don't suppose he would be seeing the light of day and total freedom again. But if the fire was put out, I don't know, it's different in different countries as well. Um, but I know there've been this enough in terms of wildfires, even in this country, in the UK, in Wales, there's often fires in England, in Scotland. I think there's been a fire very recently with all this dry weather. There's probably been more than one. But the way the public think, that is one of the difficult matters that comes up a bit in this film, and how they might take things into their own hands when someone returns. And this man, Amador, he returns to his farm. His mother is really glad to see him. She's been coping for a long time. She's very old. She's kind of overwhelmed, quite bewildered, it seems. And it is tragic to think. I mean, it's difficult enough getting old, but to imagine um, if he's our only son or our only child, um, she would, I can imagine, still cling to him, the only person who might help on the farm, some company when she's getting old. I mean, the fragmented nature of life, and there's cows that need herding. So um, there's this um, music in the background of it evokes sympathy. I really felt for the mother. I mean, the classical tunes, yeah, it really the soundtrack, um, it added to the film. Um, this the whole thing about I'd imagine some people probably wouldn't have even treated the mother that well because of familial complicity, that idea that, um, there's guilt by association, just because she brought, uh, this, in inverted commas, "monster" into the world. I mean, um, there's there's so much, there are layers to this film, and also I was thinking about any secret, if it's judged harshly by society, if it gets revealed, it can add so much tension to situations that you come across. I mean, people who aren't in prison, but they have a secret of some sort, and they might not be a criminal. I mean, the whole matter of LGBTQIA plus people, that doesn't come up in this film, um, but it's it's the kind of thing that um, it it could be a problem because people are judgmental. People are very judgmental about trans people at the moment, and they probably will be increasingly if things carry on like this with the rest of LGBTQIA plus as well. Don't think it will just stop with the T as much as some people want to divide. Um, it doesn't happen like that. Uh, the people will fight, and the conformists will try and um, force their views on everyone. And there's that. So um, Amador meets a woman whom there's some sort of attraction, and there's a potential, maybe the question of a partnering, a love affair. Who knows? There's that sort of thing that comes up as a suggestion, but if she doesn't know, she could easily find out. Small town, even in a large town, even in the city, news gets out. Um, um, some stories make national news, and then people's secrets get revealed, and often it's best to be completely honest and explain about situations and prevent that tension from building in the first place. But um, it's it's all very difficult, and there's a lot in this. You think there's going to be dramatic things that happen uh, from this palpable anger, all the villagers' disdain towards this ex-con. Um, he may have paid for his sins in prison, but um, there could be further punishment from them. They feel that he hasn't deserved, he hasn't been punished enough. There's it feels like he's trying to get on as best as he can. That's what his mother thinks as well, it seems. There's a whole thing about the spectre of climate change. I mean, Spain, California, the whole Mediterranean, Greece, all the countries that are facing a huge amount of heat. We're getting more heat than normal, but we aren't getting anywhere near as much as they are in places 1,000 miles to the south of us, um, or more. I mean, it's going to be even worse the closer you get to the equator. Um, and there's mention, the mother says the trees are dry. And that is the thing. And there's an allusion to cancer, I think, or not quite sure. But there's a lot of beautiful scenery. And I was thinking also about the 7 habits of highly effective people, simply because you get to know someone and you can get to know them well. And the more enamored you become when you realize the three-dimensional nature of characters. We all have hugely complex stories, and we might read about someone in the press, or we might just meet someone in passing, but getting to know someone in detail, you learn a lot. And I think that's one of the messages that comes across a little bit in this film, the whole nuance of life. So I'm going to score this 8.25 out of 10. Was very interesting. Um, I'd watch it again. Um, I I'd love to know what you think. Please like if you like this review. Thanks for subscribing. Hit that notification button. Hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.